Welcome to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. I'm Kenzie Ashcraft, a boutique owner, firefighter wife, and mama of 2 cowgirls, homesteading on a cattle ranch in Oklahoma.
And I'm Talia Watcott, a Western artist and illustrator, mama of 2, and wife of a mountain man, raising babies in the mountains of Utah.
Together, we share a passion for the Western lifestyle, homemaking, and Indian paintbrush flowers.
We're here to inspire and encourage you as we each create a simple but beautiful life on the prairie.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Paintbrush Prairie podcast, season 5. We decided to do something a little bit different, and we're excited about this episode. So we have heard, or you may have already heard on different podcasts, the What's Saving My Life episodes or Favorite Things episode. We're calling this our Prairie Picks, and it's just like a combination of some things that we're loving, and we're just going to go with it and share what we are enjoying lately. It could be anything from a recipe to
Favorite
show, could be whatever. And we're going to put that, or we're going to link it, what we can, up in the show notes for you. But we came up with this idea because I was in the tractor this summer listening to some podcasts that I love, and they do these episodes pretty often, and they always end up being my favorite episodes. I've just been able to discover some really cool things that they've shared, and so I thought that would be a good idea for us to do with our listeners. And so anyways, this is our very first Prairie Picks episode.
Plus, I think it helps you kind of get to know the hosts a little better. You know what I mean? Like, they become more of a real person. Because you'd be like, oh, I like that too.
Yeah. And on Prairie Picks, it's not always, like I mentioned, it's not always something that we can link up. It could literally be like, hey, for instance, on this particular episode I was listening to, she describes about taking an actual lunch break, like actually sitting down, reading a book, and enjoying her lunch. Like, it could be something as simple as that. So anyways, that's just a little side note there.
Right. And it will be from all aspects of life, just whatever we're into right now at the current moment, or whatever we've been into for the last month or so. So, do you want to start it off, Kenzie, with one of yours?
Yeah, sure. Well, and I like this too because it feels like you're sitting down, of course, with like a friend and sharing something that is helping you out or that you are enjoying, or kind of like big sister advice too. I like that kind of notion. So anyways, one of my picks or things that I am absolutely loving, especially in the season we're in, I guess you should say, is a podcast and website that I absolutely love called Smart Her News. This woman her name is Jenna Lee, and she actually used to be a news anchor in mainstream media, and she left, I want to say 6 to 8 years ago. She delivers non-biased, nonpartisan news, and not just politics either, like literally just current events as well. But she has been such a breath of fresh air I've been listening to her for over a year now. But especially, during this political climate we've been weathering. And it's nice to get news, like politics too, but just actual news, because I feel like you can't hear about anything else going on in the world without it being political. And so anyways, I just really appreciate her, and she gives facts. It's not anything catty, ugly. It's literally just the news. And I really enjoy her podcast. And she also has a newsletter called Scoop, and it's kind of like a roundup of stuff going on each week. So that's one of my first picks, and I will link her up in the show notes.
Awesome. I'm going to have to look her up because I go on down some rabbit holes, and whether it's on YouTube or if I find a good podcast, but YouTube seems to be where I'm listening most of the time. Mm-hmm. So, kind of going along with that, one of mine is a girl named Alex Clark. She's not really a girl. She's a woman. She's actually she's pretty close to our age, actually. She's right in our age range, like the 30, 31-ish, 32. I don't know how old she is, but she's in that age range. Anyway, her name is Alex Clark, and she has a podcast / YouTube channel, and her show is called Culture Apothecary. Have you ever heard of her?
Yes, I just started following her, like literally last week.
Yeah. So I started listening and like watching her shows last year, and when I first started, she had just barely started getting into like holistic and health and kind of dabbling in that, but she had a different show called The Spillover, and it was mostly like pop culture and a little bit of politics. So she's kind of shifted her videos, and now she does like videos that are, oh yeah, I think I sent you one that she did on homeschool like a while back. She had interviewed a lady on homeschool, and it was just like the best interview on homeschooling I had ever heard at the time.
Yes, you did. Yeah, I remember that now.
But she does a lot where it's kind of focused on like alternative health or nutrition, or like, these like, I guess you could call them like controversial topics, but I love it. It's like, it just like hits the spot because she's kind of new to it herself. And so it kind of makes it interesting to listen to because she's not like necessarily an expert. She's kind of like learning along with the audience from the different guests that she has on. But she has like some major experts in their fields, and she's had like homeschooling people that talk about homeschooling. She's had people talking about like different ways of eating. Like she had Paul Saladino on talking about like carnivore diet and animal-based diet, and she talks about like all different kinds of things. She's had like the Weston A. Price Foundation on, just talking about like these like more crunchy type topics. And I just find her podcast really interesting. She's very outgoing and like kind of a loud personality. So she's kind of fun to watch. I don't necessarily agree with her on everything that she does, and sometimes she says things that I am not like a huge fan of, just depending on the topic. But overall, like the guests that she has on are like really interesting to listen to. And she gets pretty deep with them. Like they're pretty long, usually like an hour, or like a half hour at least. Alex Clark on YouTube.
Okay, my next one is, which it's not a new thing that I've been into. I've been into it for a while, but is thrifting. But I'm dabbling more now that it's like winter and we're inside more. I'm dabbling into flipping some furniture, which I've done before, but not as extensive as what I'm trying now. Like I've been trying to follow a lot of these Instagram accounts and YouTube accounts and like learn and figure out the right products to use and the correct methods for certain pieces of furniture. And anyways, since I have started my antique booth, I'm on the hunt for some furniture pieces. When I do sell something, I can, swap it. And so anyways, it's been fun thrifting more for like that type of item, furniture stuff, and like learning the history behind certain furniture brands. And yeah,
So where do you get your pieces? Where is it? Just like,
as of lately, mainly estate sales. I feel like you get your best bang for your buck. It's not completely trashed, but still needs some TLC, and you can get it for an affordable price because you still have to put money into it with your products and stuff and your time. Your time's worth something. But I have found some things at the Goodwill or garage sales also, which those are slowing down because it's getting colder. But I have a little storage pile of things to work on this winter. So I'm excited to channel some more creativity through furniture that way to put in the booth.
So are you like just painting pieces, or are you like stripping them and refinishing them, or
so
what are you doing?
a couple things that were really small, like in tables and stuff, I've just painted, but my like buffets, dressers, vanities, things like that, I'll be stripping and completely like sanding them down, restaining all of that, putting new hardware on, reinforcing them, all of that jazz. So
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold you accountable.
I would I can't even film like normal things. Like it's probably why my engagement is crap, because I'm never in front of the camera showing anything, but I know I need to learn. I would eventually
like put it on
love to
YouTube.
learn. I know. I need help. Truly, I need help with our YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel for our ranch, but obviously there's nothing on it. But yeah, eventually I would love to learn upholstery. Like that's my like end goal, is to learn how to really upholster items. I found, okay, this is like, I need to send you a picture. I meant to, but I found the most glorious like Meemaw rocker you've ever sat in. It is like the comfiest little, it's not a rocker, but it's not a glider. It's like in between. And the cushions are in like excellent shape. I actually really like the fabric, but it doesn't go with my home decor. So I'm going to have it recovered in denim. But I got this beautiful, like it is in perfect condition. Pretty sure it sat in Meemaw's house forever. But I got it for like $70. Like it's worth every bit of $500. It's amazing, but it's probably, I want to say 1960s, 1970s. Excellent,
Wow.
like excellent quality made. Like they don't make furniture like that anymore.
Right.
But I've been wanting like a chair for our living room, and it's really small. So we don't have a lot of room for furniture. But we're going to try to switch some things up soon and get a sectional. And I've been wanting just a chair to like sit in, read in, whatever. And this is literally the chair that I'll rock my grandkids in. Like I'm so excited about it. But that was like sometimes you come across those items and you're like, it just makes you so happy and so giddy because you got it for a good price and it's like a really cool, unique thing. Like that was my thing this last month. So I'm excited that I found it. And I really don't have to do anything to it except recover the cushions. So
my aunt is really good at that stuff. She like gets thrifted pieces all the time and changes out the fabric on them, and I'm just like, I want to learn.
it's an art. And like, yeah, you could probably, a lot of people can do it, but like to be good at it and because like these cushions, I'm definitely not doing it. I'm sending it to someone to do, but like they have like the piping around, they're like, it's not something I can just like sew up or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Love me a good thrift trip.
Who doesn't? It's like it's like a battle, like weekly, where I have to like talk myself like off of buying something, because I get on Facebook Marketplace like just to when I'm like bored, which is not like I really have a lot of time to do it, but I'll get on there and it just feeds me everything I want to see, and then I'm like, ooh, I want to buy that. Oh, I want to buy that. But it always happens that I'll save things and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna like save that, and then I look later and it's like
sold.
My entire list, like my entire list of saved items is gone in like 2 days. I'm like, why do I even bother? Unless I'm gonna like actually go and do it.
Oh no.
But we can dream.
I feel like
anyway.
with this booth thing though, like I have to do it a lot to kind of keep the booth fresh and like replace things.
Yeah.
But I think the more you do it, the pickier you get. So maybe that's not for everybody, but it's not, at first I'd be like, oh, I need to get this and this and before it sells. And now I'm like, Do I
Yeah.
really want it? Is that really a good price?
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of going along with what I was talking about with Alex Clark, my husband Cody and I have started eating kind of different. Like, I don't know how popular it is because I'm in my own little bubble and I hear about these things and it's like not a big deal to me, but to other people, it's like I'm a wacko with like, I'm just completely off my rocker. But so we have kind of started to dive down the carnivore diet rabbit hole lately. We've done a lot of research on it and we have kind of decided that's where like the direction we want to go with our diet overall. So basically, if you aren't familiar, the carnivore diet is where you pretty much just eat meat. Which I know sounds crazy because when I first heard of it, I was like, that's crazy. How can you just eat meat? But these doctors and nutrition experts have done a lot of research and studying, and they've kind of figured out that vegetables specifically are kind of hard on your body and it's hard for your body to digest. But ultimately, it's because vegetables are plants and plants don't want to be eaten. They contain toxins to kind of prevent animals from eating them because they want to live, right? So obviously there's certain animals like that's what they eat and that's what they have to survive on, and like their bodies are designed to eat that way. Like cattle and ruminants, their digestive system is designed so that they can break down these really, really fibrous plant materials. But we don't have the same kind of digestive system. So the idea is that we are really meant to be more carnivores than what we are now, which is people consider us omnivores, right? A lot of people have bad reactions to certain vegetables and like even just peppers. Like a lot of people can't handle eating peppers. Like Cody was having reactions to bell peppers like recently, and I didn't realize it. I mean, when I was breastfeeding, I couldn't eat broccoli or cauliflower because it would just upset Briggs so bad. So the idea is that if you cut out vegetables, it's not that big of a deal because if you're eating your diet mostly meat, then you're getting all the nutrition you need from the meat because the animals you eat are eating the plants, and meat is a complete source of the vitamins that your body needs. However, we aren't doing like lion diet. The lion diet is when you're seriously just eating like red meat and that's like it. And it's very strict, like no seasonings besides salt. Like it's meat, salt, and water. Like that's that works for some people. And some people have like autoimmune conditions where this specific diet has shown that it is like curing people or at least helping them manage their autoimmune conditions. And it's like really amazing what it has done for a lot of people. But we are actually kind of following what is called an animal-based diet. So there's a guy named Paul Saladino, and he started off as carnivore, like strict carnivore, and then he kind of realized that his body wasn't doing super well doing strict carnivore. So he reintroduced fruits and dairy, and he does like raw dairy and honey. And so that's kind of what we've started to do, and we're kind of trying it. It's very low carb, obviously, because all you're eating is meat and fruit basically, and some dairy, which dairy has some carbs. But anyway, I don't know. I'm liking it so far, and my kids, like our kids naturally that's like how they eat. Our kids love meat and would pretty much survive on meat if that's all we gave them. But they also like dairy and fruit. And I have the hardest time, and I've always had the hardest time with vegetables. I've tried everything to get them to eat vegetables. I introduced vegetables when they were babies, and every time it was like they turned 2, and it was like never again. Like wouldn't touch it, wouldn't eat it. And I don't know, like I was so beating myself up for the longest time. Like, oh, my kids, like I can't get them to eat vegetables. Like I'm the worst mom ever. And now I feel a lot better because I'm like, they're eating fruit, they're eating lots of meat, and they're getting dairy. So I'm like, why would I try to force feed them vegetables if they just absolutely hate them? And who knows if they're even really that good for them. So,
well, if it's stuff that you're getting in the grocery store, not likely.
Right.
Lately.
There's not a lot of benefits with that. But anyway, so we're trying it just to see, because like Cody has, like, he's kind of always been on like this weight loss journey, but it always seems like he kind of like plateaus at a certain spot. And so he's hoping that with this different diet, it'll help relieve some of like his inner inflammation, and it might help him like let go of that, like the weight that his body like will not let go of.
Yeah.
So
Zach's done that before. He's done the carnivore before, and he really liked it. It made him feel really, really good. We've even considered like trying it. I mean, I don't know if I could go full-fledged, but I don't know. We eat a ton of meat, so I don't feel like that's a problem at all. And we're not, I mean, we eat vegetables and stuff, but like we're kind of seasonal eaters. So we eat a lot more vegetables in the summer because we grow them. But, in the winter and stuff, it's a little bit harder. And then Paisley, like she literally eats meat and fruit. Like that child, but she's so healthy. Like she hardly ever gets sick. And she's always been that way. And I was kind of the same way. Like I used to beat myself up about her not eating like a lot of vegetables. And she'll eat some, like she'll eat broccoli and green beans and stuff, but she just has never been into a lot of vegetables. But she loves meat and fruit, meat specifically. Like the girl, we laugh at her all the time, but we tell her she's going to have to like marry a cattle rancher or something one day or someone with money, because she wants steak every meal like that. She just wants steak.
Yeah, so, that's my kids exactly. Like, I was talking to Briggs. I had made some ground beef today, and I was like, Briggs, you want some meat for lunch? And he was like, I want steak. I'm like, well,
don't we all, bud?
We don't have steak right now. But I will say, so we've kind of figured out a few little tricks to like meat, because like we have a lot of wild game in our freezer. We do buy like a half a cow. I think we're getting a whole cow this year, but we don't have like our own beef, which would be ideal. But in the meantime, because like our cow isn't ready yet, and so Costco, you can go over to Costco and get what's called a chuck roll, and it is just like a bunch of freaking meat, and it's all just like one big slab, and it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. And then you can cut it up into like the sizes that you want, and it's way cheaper than like going and buying. Like, I mean, grocery store meat is not, I don't like eating grocery store meat for the most part, but sometimes that's just what you have to do.
Yeah.
So I figured out that like ground beef, if you just put like ketchup and mustard, I know that's not, I will say like that's not very along the lines of like being strict. Like you're not supposed to use that stuff, but I'm easing into it right now. I'm not very strict right now. Cody has been a lot more strict than I have, because I seriously just barely started. But anyway, that's really good.
Well, I think it just takes a little bit to, once you get into the routine, then you start feeling better and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And because I think it truly does help so much with inflammation, because our whole society, as a society, we all struggle with inflammation on
And you don't even know it.
a crazy level. Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy how you realize you're like, I feel terrible. Like you can almost like you feel the inflammation in certain parts of your body. It's crazy.
Well, even just like we haven't been eating a lot of carbohydrates like we've eaten. Like right now I'm trying to eat less than 100 grams of carbs a day. Which like that still is like a fairly decent amount. But like I said, I am like gradually going down. I'm not going cold turkey because I can't quite do that at this point in my life. But like gradually working my way down is better. But if I do like eat something that I'm like technically not supposed to, like I can definitely feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but I can actually see it on my body. Like I can physically see my bloat and stuff. So
yeah.
Anyway, there's that.
Kenzie here. If you aren't familiar, I own a rural boutique and general store, and this year I am celebrating 10 years of business. I had a storefront in our town for 8 years, and over the last 2 have operated online only out of a little shop that we fixed up on our ranch. I carry a wide variety of items from home decor, gifts, toys and goodies for the cow kids, a curated selection of vintage Western pieces handpicked by me, as well as our own line of ranch goods called Farm Girl Cattle Co. Tally and I actually work together on my Cattle Co line, so when you purchase from that, it's like you're getting a little piece of both of us. My shop has also started offering custom embroidery for small businesses, farms, and ranches. I work hard at providing a little something for everyone while staying on brand and true to my style. If you'd like to shop and pick up a little something for you or someone else, you can shop at farmgirlboutique.com and use the code PRAIRIE for 10% off your order. If you're local to Ada, Oklahoma, you can also choose local pickup, or if you fancy shopping in person, you can find a small selection of my items at 1931 Legacy Ranch on Main Street, where we first got started.
Okay, well, another thing that I am loving lately is this company. They're an all-natural company called Primally Pure. And I started using their stuff a few months ago and kind of almost got into, like, I got not really caught. I applied to do like the affiliate thing where you can get a code or whatever, but I didn't share it because I'm like, I don't ever share anything unless I actually use this stuff and I believe in it and think it's good stuff. So I tried it for a month or 2 and I feel like the literal texture of my face, like, has completely changed. Like it feels so good. And I try to take really good care of my skin. I used to not, but now that I'm, getting older, I'm like, oh man, I can see those lines in the mirror. But anyways, I just really appreciate their company. A lot of people in the health and wellness industry I follow, like, say they're a good company too, like they vouch for them. So anyways, the serum is called Soothing Face Serum. They have like a couple other different products, but I put it on before I go to bed and it is like a dream when I wake up in the morning. Like it's so good. And I don't have to worry about what I'm putting on my face. I don't have to worry about harmful toxic chemicals or anything. So anyways, I do have a code and I'll put it in the show notes. If anyone's interested in trying it, you get a little bit of a discount. I will say the price point is a little bit more on the expensive end, but it's because it's good stuff. Unfortunately, you have to pay more.
Right.
But I love everything that I've gotten from them so far.
Well, cool. I'm going to have to try it. I've heard a lot about them, but I haven't really like known anyone personally that has used them. So talking about inflammation, So I am actually right about, I think it'll be about in a month, I will be celebrating 1 year of quitting coffee entirely.
Whoa.
So, which is like, I can't even believe I'm saying this right now because I was
I don't
like
drink coffee, but I can imagine. Like,
I was the biggest coffee drinker. Like, I was like, I would joke that I was like on an IV drip of coffee because I would just drink it all day long. And I still love it. But I decided a year ago that I was going to quit drinking it. And I didn't know at the time like how big of an impact it would have, because I was like, I had watched some videos and they were like, yeah, quitting coffee was the greatest thing I've done and it helped this and this and this, and I was like, yeah, okay, like whatever. Like, I don't really think that's gonna happen. I don't think that I am gonna feel that different, except for like I'm gonna be hating life because I'm gonna be, having coffee withdrawals and all this stuff. Well, I did not have any coffee withdrawals. I really just like, obviously, I still drink caffeine a little bit because, like, at this point in my life, I can't not. I have to have some kind of caffeine to like make it through. I have a 3-year-old that's in my bed every single night, so and I wake up at 3:45 every morning. But I switched it out and I started drinking something different. And so I'm going to share with you what that is. So it's called Perk, and they actually have an energy, like they have energy and they have like non-caffeinated. But basically, it's like a morning drink. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like hot chocolate, but they have different flavors, and it's like healthy, I guess, as healthy as you can really be. But it has like collagen, it has protein. It's like low, I don't even know, like low carb. It doesn't have a ton of carbs in it. It doesn't have a bunch of sugar, but it has like, I think it's 100 milligrams or just under 100 milligrams of coffee in each, or not coffee, sorry, of caffeine in each serving, like, which is like a cup's worth, like, what you would normally have, like your cup of coffee, you just have Perk instead. And so they have like a whole bunch of different flavors, and they come out with seasonal flavors. So like right now they have a pumpkin spice latte flavor, and they don't have like any like coffee flavor, because like obviously it's like it doesn't have coffee in it, but it tastes like you're drinking a pumpkin spice latte. Like if you're wanting that, like you don't want to drink coffee, but you want that like flavor and you still want some caffeine. And the other thing with quitting coffee, the biggest thing the problem I had was like, and my husband, like, it was the sentiment, like the ritual of drinking coffee every morning, like drinking a warm drink and like making it and stuff. And that's like what we miss more than the actual coffee itself. And so Perk is nice because you can just have a warm drink that's like not full of sugar, and it's still pretty like, you can fit it, like if you're tracking macros or whatever. Obviously, like it's probably not technically on our carnivore, like strict carnivore, but it's what we're doing because we're just trying to get through life. Yeah. But anyway, my favorite flavor is they have one that's called Dutch Cocoa, and it is so good because it tastes like hot chocolate, but it's like without being super sugary. So it tastes more like cocoa powder, and it actually has like cocoa powder in it, but it isn't super sugary and sweet. And then they've got like a chai latte flavor. They've got like a vanilla steamer. They have a Christmas sugar cookie, like all different flavors. And they're actually testing it out in Costco right now, or it will be soon. So it may be in Costco in the future. But yeah, so just a fun fact for regarding the inflammation. So I stopped drinking coffee and my acne went away. Like I struggled with severe like cystic acne, like deep, painful acne. Like, and if you look at my face, like I obviously like I wear a lot of makeup, but if you look at my face close, and especially when I'm not wearing makeup, I have scarring all over my face. I have like acne marks, and I had like a ton of melasma from having Briggs. Like when I'm pregnant, I get a ton of melasma. And I don't know if the melasma is related or if it's just my hormones and like my skin kind of like finally getting back to normal, but my melasma completely like went away for the most part. Like there's still a little bit, but it was really bad last year. And my acne, the only acne I get now is like I'll get like a couple of little tiny zits, like, you know, close to like my period. And then or like if I'm stressed out, like I get like a stress zit here or there. But I mean the hormonal stuff is like gone because I got rid of coffee. And it really was the coffee. It wasn't caffeine because I still drink caffeine, but it was the coffee. That's crazy. So
yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker. Like if I get one, I like cold drinks anyway. I don't like anything hot. I don't like hot chocolate. But if I were to get a coffee, it was always like, you know, a frappuccino or something. But but I can only imagine like my husband quitting coffee or caffeine. That would be very difficult. I mean, I will say I'm like a coffee drinker, but on like this Herbalife tea I have, like I'm very hooked on it because I, like you said, I have to have some kind of caffeine, but it's better than, you know, drinking 4 cups of coffee today. Keep me awake.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next thing is, I know this is random, but my daughter's pig, Kevin Bacon. Y'all. Okay. So my husband showed pigs in high school. They used to raise pigs too. I showed goats and sheep, rodeoed, all that. I showed pigs one time and I hated it because my pigs were crazy. So all that to say, when our kids were starting to get into showing livestock, I was like, yeah, we're not doing pigs. Like we're not doing it. I hated them so much. And my husband's like, they're awesome. Like they're the best. His pigs were like dogs. I didn't have that experience. So I just figured, you know, we would have another thing like I had. Anyways, Paisley decided she wanted to show a pig this year. I was like, okay, whatever. This will be like a one and done thing. The whole family loves the pig. Kevin Bacon is like a member of our family now. He is so cute. He is like a puppy. Like she takes him on walks, which if you don't know anything about showing pigs, like you obviously you don't have them a halter or anything on them. You literally have to like steer them. Yeah. And so they have to be able to walk. And anyways, like they go on walks and you can like call him like a dog and he'll run to you, and he loves being scratched and he'll roll over like a dog and want you to rub his belly. And anyways, he's just been like a bright spot in our day, and he's just so cute. So anyways, that is something I'm loving lately is my daughter's pig. She has her very first show next weekend. So I'm excited to see how he'll do. He's still pretty little, but we're trying to get some shows in before the big ones in the springtime, so we have some experience. But I think he's going to do pretty good.
That is so fun. I think it would be fun to have a pig that was like that, like little Wilbur.
Yeah.
Running around.
Every time, because you know how like for your animals, they have like their own internal dialogue. Like you have a voice for your animals or whatever. Yeah. Like if they were to talk.
Or you just like make them talk like
exactly.
No joke. Yeah. Like on Frozen. when he does.
Yes.
Kristoff
Yeah, like
does
Sven.
Sven's voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin, I just always imagine like he has Babe's voice. Like every time he's like around us, I'm like, I just hear Babe. I'm like,
so
you're so cute. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
But again, there's not many an animal I don't like, so.
Well, you always get attached to him in some way.
Yeah, I know. Kevin, like, literally, I don't think we can turn him into bacon because I would cry. Like, I can't do it. I'm like, you can't bond with them and then, whatever.
Yeah, it's harder when it's like, because like I showed a sheep and I was sad when he got sold, but then he was sold and he was gone, right? Like,
yeah.
Someone else can eat him.
Can do it.
But like,
yeah. Now, I
mean,
had some animals. I was like, take them. Bye-bye.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah. I had a steer one year that he was just like a for fun steer. Like I didn't do anything with him, but he like when I got him, he was a bull and I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know anything. And finally when I got him like cut, he was like very bullish already.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like a jerk and he would come and chase you in the pasture and he was like so mean. And so when we ended up slaughtering him, I was like, I don't care. Like I will eat you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I never really liked your personality. He was really cute when he was a calf, but then he got big and he was not nice anymore. But
well, like we eat our own, like we raise our own beef, we butcher our own beef. Like that never bothers me. But I don't know. I guess when it's like an animal that you spend every day with and you go feed them and you hang out with them and you play with them, like you have a relationship, and I'm just like, oh, like, that would make me really sad. But anyways, yeah, that's my other one, Kevin Bacon.
Cute. So, something that I have really been like this entire year, it really has been a huge deal for me. So I started getting lash extensions like when they were still pretty new. So 2012 was when I started getting lash extensions and got those until I had Cheyenne, and then I went a couple of years where I didn't have them because it wasn't making enough money. And then I got them again up until last fall around the same time this year. I just told my lash girl, I'm like, I can't keep doing this just because I can't afford it. Like I want to support her business and I want to support her and I want to still get lash extensions, but I can't do it. And so I had been seeing like the glue on lashes that you do at home that are like, I think the big one that was really big for a while was Lashify.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen a few different ones and I was trying to decide between like Lashify and Flutter Habit. Mm-hmm. And I ended up going with Flutter Habit. I haven't tried Lashify, so if you think Lashify is better, that's great. But I've just tried Flutter Habit and I love them. It truly is like the perfect middle ground. Like, I mean, if I could afford lashes still and I had more time and I could go and get them filled, 100% I would do that because that's like what I really, really like the most. But this is a really good option if you can't do that, but you still want lashes. Because I'm just one of those people that like, I hate how I look with just my natural lashes. Like it doesn't matter what mascara I use. I hate it. I love the look of lash extensions because they give my eyes, like they lift my eyes and they make my face look more cheerful. Like I look happier when I have them on my eyes and they kind of hide like I'm getting older and my eyelids are starting to droop. And so my lashes kind of cover that. So anyway, I got like you can get like a set on Amazon. They're called the Flirt. That's the kind I'm wearing. And they're like a C curl. So if you're used to wearing a C curl lash, they look like C curl lash extensions, and you just glue them on the bottom of your lashes. And I can keep them on they usually last about a week and a half for me. And it obviously depends on like if you're getting them wet a lot. I do have to like fix them every couple of days. I'll have like my corners sometimes will come like off a little bit. Like sometimes my eyelids get really oily, especially if I'm working out a lot. So like my inner corners, I usually have to glue those like every other day. Like they'll like start peeling off. So I'll have to like re-glue them because I don't really have like lashes on the inner corners of my eyes. Like I have very sparse lashes, and so they don't have a whole lot to hang on to. The glue works really well. Once you get the hang of it, it takes a few applications to get to where you're like not poking yourself in the eye and crying and making all the glue run everywhere. And like it took me a little bit to get used to them, but now I can put them on and it's like super easy because I don't like strip lashes. The thing about these lashes is they come in like these little chunks, so they're like already split into 4 little pieces, and so you just like glue each little piece on, and it works a lot better than strip lashes, and it looks more natural, and they really do look like eyelash extensions. Like I always get compliments on my eyelashes, and I'm like, good, thank you, they're glue on. So anyway, if you're looking for that, it's way cheaper. You can buy the set you can buy on Amazon. It's got like 5 or 6 sets. And my trick is that I reuse the sets. Like you can clean them and you can just reuse them. You don't have to just like wear them for a week and then throw them away. Like they don't look quite as fresh and beautiful, but you can actually reuse them quite a bit before they get kind of worn out. So
awesome.
Much cheaper.
My other one, which I've shared about a lot, especially on our clothing episodes, but is New Flora. Love that brand so much because I don't know, it's like my capsule dream, I guess. Like I've slowly been building my wardrobe over the last year, like getting rid of things that no longer fit, making like not like a capsule, like, oh, I have 6 pieces of clothing, but you know what I mean? Like having pieces that I can wear in every season and mix and match with different things. Like I wear a lot of denim. I wear a lot of like creams, browns, neutrals. So like I can mix all of those colors and different things. But anyways, I really love the concept of their business. I love that they have one collection that drops every month, and they have several pieces, and it interchanges with all of their previous collections that they've launched. And their stuff is just so high quality, and they do try-ons before all of their drops. I don't know. I love their whole business. It's a small business. It's a family-owned business. And I've had the privilege to like get to support them the last year and be an affiliate for them. So you can use my code anytime, Kenzie, for 10% off your order. But truly love their stuff. I wear something of theirs every day. So I love my New Flora clothes, but I love it because like I have gone through my closet and sold my stuff on Poshmark, and I use my Poshmark closet money to like buy a piece every month from New Flora. So it's like a nice little treat that I didn't have to like dish out for. And so it's something fun to look forward to. See what they come out with every month.
I think their clothes are so cute. I just need to like, maybe that's what I should do. Because I've started to get to a point in my closet because like I'm in a weight loss phase right now. And so I have like a whole closet full of stuff that doesn't really fit me right now. So I've started to get like a really critical eye about certain things. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe that like doesn't actually look that good on me. And maybe I can actually like just let that go. I need to get back on Poshmark.
Yeah.
Start selling again.
I love that. I love it so much. Getting rid of stuff on there. And I feel like I make way more on there than I would selling it on Facebook, you know? And I like that they take care of the shipping label, everything. You literally just put it in a mailer and send it off.
Well, especially if your stuff is good quality.
Yeah.
Like if it's good quality and is like more, not necessarily high end, but it's not like Walmart, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And I even feel like sometimes
I found
the
stuff on there.
consignment. Oh yeah.
Like I shop on there a lot, and you can even use, you know, if you don't want to have used worn clothes, like if, like for instance, if you wanted a certain pair of shoes and you don't want to like get shoes secondhand, you can put a filter on there, new with tags, and it'll only show you those. So I really like Poshmark for that, but I have found several pieces, especially like vintage, like denim jackets or like timeless pieces like that are just like, so like they don't make them like that anymore. I have found some really good pieces off of there.
Yeah, they have some good Pendleton stuff too.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, well, I also am going to mention the homeschool curriculum that we're using right now. So basically, last year was kind of like I was dipping my feet into homeschool. I didn't really use like a complete curriculum for anything. I mean, I used Saxon math, and then I had some other phonics books and things like that, but didn't like have a set curriculum for like history. I kind of just like flew by the seat of my pants and created my own. But this year I was like, I want something that's kind of open and go, but also kind of not, like just something that kind of has like the skeleton there, and then you can follow it, but then you can kind of like also add in or take away like certain things. This year I decided to use, it's called The Playful Pioneers, and it is by Jennifer Pepito. And basically it is a Charlotte Mason style, or like, you know, it's like influenced by Charlotte Mason style kind of teaching, but it's all based on American history, but it kind of is, it's interesting because it's like a little bit of history, a little bit of science, a little bit of geography, but they tie everything together. So it's a very like whole, like well-rounded way of kind of learning. So obviously like it doesn't include math and it doesn't include phonics and spelling, but it has a manual that you purchase, and it has each week of the curriculum, and it's all laid out for you. So it has like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It has 4 days a week of like what you can teach for Bible and a recitation, and it has a reading, like a book list that's included, and then it tells you what to teach for geography or history or science that day. And then it has like different art projects you can do, or like handicraft type projects, or it'll have like a recipe suggestion, and then she has like a recipe book that goes along with it with the recipes in it. I have been really happy with it. I think it's great for the level that we're at right now. So I'm actually using, she has 2 volumes, and the way that her curriculums go is they're meant for you to like kind of like cycle through them. So she has one that's The Playful Pioneers, and it's like the volume 1, and that's based on like the Little House on the Prairie. Like that's the spine, and everything kind of like relates back to those books as like the spine. And so it's been going really well. I like the books that she has incorporated in it. And it is nice because we can add, like if I want to go more in depth on a certain topic, I can. I can also like switch out, like if she has a book suggestion for one of the days and I don't have that book, I have a different one that's like similar, I can just switch it out. So like there was a book that she had that was on Patrick Henry, but I had found a book on Patrick Henry from like the thrift store. So I just switched it out, but we're still learning about Patrick Henry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's really nice. I just needed something that was like kind of more laid out so I didn't have to completely create everything from scratch when it came to the history and geography and like the recitation and the book reading and everything. So I've been liking that so far. So
Awesome. Well, I guess to kind of go along with that, it's not solely our curriculum. It's kind of like a supplement for the days that I have to work and they have to come with me. But it's this, and I actually heard it on a podcast on one of their favorite things episodes this summer. So I thought we would try it, and it's really affordable. You can pay by the month if you want to, but it's called IXL Learning. And it's like an interactive online learning program, and it's for grades K through 12th. And they have everything from like math, science, government, history, language arts, and then they also have a foreign language add-on that you can purchase for like an extra $5 a month for like Spanish. I don't know if they have French on there, but anyways, it's a really cool program, and it's like literally unlimited questions and problems. And so it will, as your child like does a specific subject or whatever, it tracks their progress and kind of shows you like what level they're at or what their strengths are in that particular subject. And as a parent, you can have like multiple kids on your account, and then you have like a parent side. So say like I had to go somewhere one day and Zach's with the girls and they have the laptops or whatever and he's not sure what to do. I can go in on the parent side and like put in assignments or like the subjects I want them to practice or work on, and it'll send it to their accounts. And so when they log in, they can go on there and just like start working on stuff. But I really like it too, because it's like once they kind of master something, it still incorporates that a little bit, but it keeps giving them problems that they need to improve on. And kind of like if they get it wrong, it'll tell them why and where they missed it or whatever. So anyways, it's just a really nice, like, I don't really want our homeschool to be all on the computer, but I do feel like they need to do some things on the computer. And so it also is kind of like changes it up a little bit for us here and there. So I felt like it was a really good, affordable option, and we do it, a few times a week. And it kind of helps me too on the days that like we're on a time crunch, but we need to do something. It's nice for them to be able to like hop on there and do some things. So
how much does it cost?
I want to say, let me look. It wasn't bad at all. And one thing I wanted to say to you is that it's like teachers are using it in actual schools too. It's not just geared towards homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
So you can join as like a family, a classroom, or a school district. And the family price is like $19.95 a month, but I used whoever I signed up, I guess whoever I heard it from, I used their code, so I got a discount. But it's $19.95 a month for the core subjects, and that's math, language arts, science, and social studies. Or you can buy like a single subject, you can buy a combo package, and it just goes down in price. But the highest is $19.95 a month. And then you can do your add-on package, and it's like a foreign language for $5 extra. But if you sign up for like a year, I want to say it saves like 33%. So you can buy the whole year for $159.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I feel like that's really affordable because if you're buying all of your homeschool curriculum by subject and book, like it adds up fast per grade.
Yeah.
You're having to buy it for all your kids. So anyways, it's just a nice little something else for us, but I can't remember what I actually paid because I had that discount code, but it was a little cheaper than that.
That's pretty good though. Like, I feel I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't really like to do most of the learning online or incorporating the computer, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like she kind of needs to like learn how to navigate and like use a device here and there.
Well, and that's what, like, I've caught myself like wanting to get so far away from technology with my kids, but I also have to be realistic and know that, like, well, we're in a technological world. Like, they're going to be using computers. They're going to need to learn how to type and type well and fast. I mean, we took keyboarding in school. So anyways, I'm
Right.
just like, they need to be on computers too, but it doesn't have to be the sole focus of their learning environment.
I think they just need balance. Like, and especially I had the same thought. I'm like, well, basically like what my entire job is using like a tablet and computer. I use it like 90% of the time. And so I feel like she needs to, at least be a little bit savvy with some of that stuff. I mean, obviously, Cheyenne's only 7, so I'm not super concerned about it right now. Obviously, it'll be much more of a focus as she gets older, but she has with her school, so like she's doing a hybrid program. I don't know if I talked about it last time, but she goes to school for a whole day just once a week. So it's kind of like a co-op setting, but it happens to be a charter school. And the school offers, like a bunch of different computer programs that the kids can use, but the ones that I've signed up for, I hate.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out some other ones.
Yeah, it's been really neat. And like, since we've had like, it's an election year and things like that, the girls have been going over government and like the different branches and, the purpose. And so we got to start all the way from like local and went all the way up. And it kind of gives them like a perspective of how they all work and lead up to a bigger government. And so that was really neat to have that kind of broken down and go through that stuff in that program.
Not sure what to cook and tired of eating the same old thing? Check out my meal plan subscription called Hayfield Meals. And no, you don't have to be a farmer or rancher to subscribe. This is actually a wonderful tool and resource for any homemaker. Back in 2018, I started an Instagram account called Hayfield Meals. I was carting food to the hayfield for my husband and dad and got the idea to create a community among other farm and ranch wives who still wanted to gather with their families over a meal during some of the busiest times of the year. For many, that's hay season, harvest, branding, or calving season. But whether you are rural or not, these ideas are for everyone. It was such a fun way to connect with others who live similar lifestyles, and since then has blossomed into something that has really blessed our family. It was my way to bring what we had on our table to the tractor, while also making a hand in the field and kitchen. I expanded on this and decided to provide a service offering a meal plan subscription to take the guesswork out of what to make each week. For $7 a month, your subscription includes 5 dinners, 1 snack, and dessert, planned out with all of the recipes, a completed grocery list you can upload into your grocery app, as well as extras like bonus recipes. It's seriously the price of like a fancy coffee. They are delivered on a weekly basis straight to your inbox each Friday in PDF form, so you can easily print them and throw them in a binder. It's a wonderful gift for others, as I also offer a yearly option of a one-time charge of $77 that gives you 1 month for free. I've had several women gift it to their friends, moms, daughters, sisters, college students, newlyweds, or simply to themselves. All of the recipes are easily modifiable, and I love having a wide selection to reference at different times of the year. It's like building your own little cookbook. If you'd like to subscribe and join my meal plan, you can do so by visiting my website at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals.
So mine, this is going to be not a thing, but an action. So my husband and I, he got a job because like we kind of went through a while there where he was just helping me with my business, but then the economy tanked. So he ended up getting a job, and he wakes up really early because he actually has multiple jobs now because he also coaches CrossFit, and he works with his dad doing construction. So he wakes up really early. He wakes up about 3:30 every morning, and then I get up pretty shortly after. He goes to work, and then I just work until my kids wake up, basically, from about 4 till about 7. And like, I know for most people that just sounds like it would be absolutely ridiculous, like completely ridiculous to wake up that early in the morning. And it would be so absolutely miserable. But it actually is not as bad as you would think. I have been truly shocked at how much it has helped me. Like, I used to wake up when Cheyenne was little, before I had Briggs. I woke up at 5 and I would work for a couple of hours until she woke up. But then I had a lot more time during the day to do more work because I only had one kid, one toddler, and she could keep herself pretty busy or just be content just being with me while I was working. So this time, like when now I have 2 kids and they just like, I can't get anything done with when I have both of them. And plus I'm homeschooling, which is another thing that I wasn't ever planning on doing, a few years ago. But that's what we're doing now. So pretty much my morning time is like my golden hours of the day. Like that's when I get so much work done. And it's funny because like the last couple years I was having a really hard time like actually waking up early. And part of it was because like I kind of struggle getting out of bed when I'm the only one in the house that's waking up. Because like our house is really small and pretty much like I don't have like it's like it's an old house too, so you wake up and then you're like it just makes noise, like the floor creaks, the walls are not, like you can hear everything between the walls. And so it's not like I can just wake up and like go downstairs and eat my breakfast and get ready and like do all the things. It's harder because our kitchen is right next to our bedrooms and you can hear everything that's going on in the kitchen. So anyway, I can make a million excuses as to why I was struggling to get up early, but I was just choosing to work late at night. But when I work late at night, I have like zero energy and zero creative energy. And I was just like, things would take me like twice as long or even 3 times longer than they would normally take because I was either fighting to stay awake or I just was like so drained that I just like I was just not being productive. So waking up early and being fresh in the morning is like amazing for my creativity. I can like bust stuff out in those few hours I have in the morning, and I'm so much more efficient with my time. And not only that, but it's like starting your day with your kids and already having like stuff accomplished for the day is the greatest feeling in the world. Like it almost gives you like a high, like knowing that you like got this and this and this like done, that those things that you needed to get done for your business, you already got them done. And now all you have to do is like do your homeschool with your kids and like, I don't know, just like have your day with your kids. It's the greatest. I love it so much. Even though it is really early, it's like a huge difference on the days when I don't get up, and which doesn't happen very often. But like there was a couple of days where we were deer hunting and didn't get home till late. So I slept in the next morning, and it just makes for a day that doesn't go well. And I'm grumpy, and The other thing too, and this is my trick, because when you're first getting used to it, you start, if you are working like I am, I just go pretty much wake up and go straight to work. But when I was first getting used to it, I get really tired, and I like kind of struggle to stay awake sometimes in the mornings just because it was so early. And if I wasn't getting enough sleep, I'd be really tired. But one thing that helped is like I'll wake up and then I just go get ready for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go do my makeup, do my hair. I don't always get dressed, but like I do a lot better when I do get dressed. But at least, if nothing else, I've done my makeup and my hair for the day, because then when my kids get up and I'm like having to get them ready, and it's not like they really like need to do a whole lot to get ready. Like they're not going to a full day of school except for Shan's one day, and then Briggs does go to like his little preschool. But it's just nice because I don't have to focus on getting myself put together. I'm already put together, and so I can just like hit the ground running with them and make sure we're getting started with school early enough and not, dragging it out forever. And it is just the greatest. I don't know. I love it. It's hard going to bed early enough, though, I will say. Like, that's one of the struggles that I have right now, is just getting the kids in bed and getting myself like ready for bed early enough so that I get enough sleep. But
yeah. I used to be like you, like would stay up and work, and like my body just will not let me anymore, and I don't feel good. Like I don't feel like I get anything done, or what I do isn't done well when I stay up late anymore. I would much rather go to bed early and get up early. I feel so much better, and like you, I don't know. I can't do that anymore. I don't know if it was like years worth of draining myself, but I also think like when you get we all have that circadian rhythm that's supposed to be like go to bed when it gets dark and get up. Like when we mess that up, I think it just makes us feel terrible. So like, especially with the time change, which I hate, but now that it's getting dark so early, like I'm ready for bed. Like I do not mind going to bed early. The summer's harder because we like being outside and it just gets dark so late. But yeah, I like getting up early now too. I used to be completely opposite. I hated getting up early, but now I do.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Okay, my next one is, I don't know if we've talked about it here, but is my book club. So I'm a book nerd. I love to read so much. I always have a book with me. Like it's either in my purse, my car. I always have a book. I'm usually reading like 3 or 4 at a time. I may not get through them quickly, but I'm always reading something. I love going to the library. That's kind of mine and the girls' routine is usually every Friday. It's our library day. And then, of course, we have lots of books here. And we've kind of built our little home library. But I just wanted something a little bit deeper, I guess. And so in February, I asked my mom and my cousin like what they thought about starting a book club. And we kind of laughed about it, but I was like, no, seriously, like I've seen some and I've always wanted to be in one. Like, what if we just have a book club? We invite whoever wants to come. If you can't make it a certain month, that's fine. But I planned out the whole year. So like we usually meet on Tuesdays once a month. And it's at the same place. My mom graciously let us use her house, and we all meet there, and then we provide like the protein, and then everyone brings a side. We have like a sign up sheet, and we just get to like fellowship and break bread and discuss the book that we read each month. And it's so much fun. And we just gather for 2 hours. It's only 2 hours and that's it. And I truly look forward to it every month. It's really simple. We're not a fancy book club. We don't really have a theme every month. Like that was kind of my intention at first, but really it was just to do something as adults. And because I'm really easy, like I'm really bad about just shelling up and staying home and not doing anything. And I'm content with that. And that doesn't bother me. But I don't know. I just thought like I love books. I like to discuss books. I think it's fun. I like to eat. I like to just hang out. So anyways, it's been fun. And at first it started with like me, my mom, my cousin, my aunt, and a couple other people. And it's grown. I think we have like 13 or 14 in our book club now. And like I said, like not everyone can come every month, but when we, we always welcome whoever wants to come, but we really enjoy it. We're going to have our Thanksgiving one, Friendsgiving one, and we're doing a potluck. So we all bring a potluck dish. And then next month, we're going to do a big Christmas party on a Sunday because we want to spend more time. But at this next book club we're having, we all are going to put books that none of us have read. We're all checking with each other, making sure we haven't read them. And we're all going to throw them into a hat. And then we're going to draw 12. And we're going to go ahead and plan our whole next year, what we're going to read each month and all of that. But anyways, it's been fun. Like we got to read a book this year that had a movie coming out. So for that month, instead of meeting at the house and talking about it, we went and met at the movies, and that was fun. We read a book that had like a little Amazon miniseries or Apple TV miniseries or something. It was kind of like a mystery book. And we watched that outside on my mom's pavilion for that month and had dinner out there. So anyways, it's been a lot of fun, and it's something that it doesn't cost a lot. It's really simple. Like half of our readers listen to their books on Audible. Half of us read them or check them out of the library. And yeah, it's a good time. Like I highly recommend it. A lot of people are like, I don't have time, but we've all made time for it. And I think we've all really enjoyed it. So I'm excited for this next year.
Well, that's awesome. I'm jealous.
We can
I want
FaceTime
to
you
come.
in. I know it's not the same, but you can read with us.
Yeah, well, might have to consider it because I don't know. Like I have the same desire. Like I want to get my sisters-in-law together and like do something. You know what I mean? Like where you can get together. Even I think a book club would be really fun. I love the idea of that.
Well, and I will say, like, there's some times where, like, we have to bring our kids and we just bring them. We're like, please don't let that hinder you from.
Oh, yeah.
Because my husband, he's on shift a lot of the times that we have book clubs. So my kids are there, but they just go play outside or go in the other room and play with all the other kids. And that's been a good part, too. It's like it hasn't been a hindrance to not be able to come, I guess. But anyways, it's really interesting too to like learn more about your family and friends, like based on their reading styles or like their genres. Like I'm a big historical fiction person. I love like the historical fiction books. I'll read about anything, but then we have a lot of girls who are like, they want the thriller, like the true crime people,
Yeah.
And then we've got some that they're the romance girls, so, or the sci-fi people. So it's funny. Like I love it. But it's crazy to think that we've almost done it a whole year and we've like stuck to it. So it's been cool. And I actually got inspired. My hairdresser, she had started one last year and was telling me like all the things that they do and how fun it was. And so she was like, you should start one. And so we did, and it's been great. So
okay, so I don't listen to the radio at all, because I can't handle most things that are on the radio because I'm just, it's not my style. But recently, I finally like got the memo and discovered Zach Top, and
oh Lord have mercy, Talia. No, I love him.
I know you have a whole story about Zach Top.
It's my almost teenage daughter that's completely obsessed.
Oh my goodness. I was like dying.
She's obsessed. Well, yeah, you saw that. Yeah, you saw that on Facebook. Okay, now, okay, so you already know. Yeah.
I just think it's so cute.
Yeah.
So he just like popped up. I was listening to Spotify and he like, how Spotify will just like play you things that it thinks you want to listen to. But he popped up and I was like, what is this? Like, I feel like I'm like taken back in time. Like, I'm sure everyone listening to us is like, yeah, old news. Like, we know who Zach Top is, but like, I seriously just discovered him like a month ago. And I'm just like, thank you, like God or, whoever like inspired him to create his music. But I do have to laugh because I'm like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't even born when all that stuff was on the radio.
No, I think he's like 20.
He looks like he's in his 20s. Like he's like
he
got
is.
a baby face still.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he dresses like the 90s, but I don't know. His music is very nostalgic because it sounds like
the way
stuff.
he sings, like I seriously, when I first listened to him, yeah. Well, so when I first heard, I don't even remember the first song I heard, but I was listening to it and I was like, I couldn't nail it down because I was like, it sounds like Alan Jackson, but it's also not. Like it's kind of like Tracy Bird, kind of like, like Brooks and Dunn a little bit. Like it's just
like
got
a melting
that like
pot.
I love his voice and the way that he sings, like it's not like mannerisms, but like inflections that he uses. Like he sounds exactly like how people used to sound, like in the early 90s, you know what I mean? Like
no auto-tune.
No auto-tune, no like fake sounds and like overcomplicating stuff. It was just like
country,
pure guitar and these pure instruments and tons of fiddle and steel guitar and like what like the golden age of country, at least what I consider. I mean, I know a lot of people love like the really good old 70s and 80s. Like my husband really likes that time, but I love 90s country. So anyway, I love listening to him because it just reminds me of being a little kid.
Well, I'll tell Paisley and she'll be very proud of you.
Yeah. I knew she'd be a fan.
Mercy, that girl, which goodness. I'm like, she's like, Mom, it could be worse. I'm like, you are right, child. It could be worse. So
yeah,
stick with that.
Like, I think that's a good
celebrity crush
example of a man that she can like,
Yeah.
He's got a mustache. That's always a good thing.
That's part of it. She's like, Mom, whoever I date, he has to have a mustache. I'm like, well,
good luck with that.
If they're your age, they probably haven't hit that point in their life. It's probably not going to happen.
Like, they probably won't have a mustache till they're 25, but
Yeah, sorry. Get a peel and stick,
it's a good goal.
Yes.
Good goal.
Man. I'll do my last one, which is, we all have it. Like, it's not anything new, but actually utilizing my notes app in my phone.
Yeah.
Which I've always used it for certain things. Like, as women, I feel like we all have that baby name list on there.
Who doesn't? I mean, really.
Right. For the ones I'm not going to have anymore. They're still on there. But like, I literally have lists for everything. And this takes me back to another episode I listened to that was all about lists that inspired me to make like different lists for certain things. And so I won't go through them all, but like I have one for obviously like my to-do. I have one for like monthly bills. I have one for like, I have a list, and it's like really fun for me to just like write down like my favorite things I love. And then I also, like, Zach and I have shared notes together, which I like, because like, especially if he's at the station or something, we can like share a note, and it's just something different. It's not like a text. It's something that like stays on our phone that we can reference. I have the girls like Christmas wish lists. I mean, like literally all kinds of lists on there. It's probably my most utilized app now, other than like email. But yeah, I enjoy the Notes app. Like, I can't believe I didn't really use it to its full potential until
Mm-hmm.
now. But there's lots of things on there.
That's a great idea. I mean, I use it for some things, like if I need to make a quick grocery list.
Yep,
I have,
got that on there.
My password list because I have the memory of a squirrel.
I have like my to-do things I need to buy, like that aren't groceries. I have let's see, what else do I have? I have like my prayer list on there, especially if you see something, I'm not going to remember it and I feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I tell someone I want to pray for them, I want, so I try to write it
Right.
down. We have our favorite things, we have wish lists, we have goals, things we want to do. I have a list that's like gift ideas for certain things. So like if someone's having a baby, I don't know if anyone knows of, I'm sure you do, or if you follow The Lazy Genius, but I really like a lot of her concepts on things. And one of her concepts are decide once. So it's like, it's something that you use and you don't have to think about it. So for instance, if someone is having a baby and having a meal train, you always take fajitas, like no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like takeout, whatever, like you have a plan. Or if it's a wedding gift, like you buy them, I don't know, like the certain gift that you get everybody for a wedding gift. So it's like simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a list of like decide once things, or I have a gift list or whatever. Anyways, it's just a nice way to organize my OCD but ADHD brain. Like I feel like I have both, and it's the worst combination on the planet. It's like wanting to be so completely organized, but then like having so many tabs open, you can't function.
I feel you. There.
And like I have a planner that I tried to write everything down in, but that wasn't working either. So that's another app that I've been trying to really utilize is my Apple Calendar. I still have a paper planner because I like to write things down, but trying to utilize both of those and like make them work for me. Like that's one thing why I could never be a Samsung or like Android user. I just don't get it. Like Apple, I feel like makes things so simple. It's so streamlined.
Yeah, it really is. And it's such a good system. Like, as much as I want to hate it and want to not use it, it's like, I can't, like, it's just too good until someone comes up with something better.
Then you got to switch it all. It's like, well, that would be great, but it's like the whole thing. It's like everything, I don't even, the whole cloud thing's still a mystery to me, but like everything's in the cloud and then having to switch everything over. I'm like, I just want everything like simple.
Well, it's just nice, especially like with my job where I'm like moving files constantly. That's like what I do. But it's like I can access the same thing on my phone that's on my computer, and then I can just like save it from this device, and then it's there, and it's just like seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like the other day when I messaged you and I was like, hey, I can't find this thing in our Google Drive folder. And then I ended up finding it. But it's things like that, like shared folders and having everything in one spot. And I can go on my phone or my computer and find it. Like I love stuff like that. I don't want to have to carry my iPad, my tablet, or my iPad, my computer, my laptop, my phone, all of that for different things. I want it all streamlined.
That is the beauty of like the Notes app, is because it's like, I can access the same notes from my iPad and on my computer and on my phone, and it makes it really nice. That actually reminds me. So I didn't think of this one, but I think I'm going to do this one as my last one, but it's similar to yours where you like said the Apple Calendar. So this school year, I decided that the only way that I was going to make this, like, make myself function and get everything done that I needed to. It was like I had to get extremely organized and very disciplined about things. And it's still a work in progress because I am naturally a very free spirit. And I want to do things based on my creative energy and my flow and where I'm hyper focusing at the moment. But unfortunately, life does not work that way. So I have to force myself to be disciplined. And it is very difficult for me. But the one thing I have found that has helped is like I have to, so I'm like a really good people pleaser. So if I have to meet expectations for someone else, like I'm much better at doing that than like just holding my own self accountable for things. So what I started doing, because I was like, I have to make sure that I'm doing school every day with the kids, getting my work done, like making sure everyone's fed and the animals are fed and like the bills are paid and everything like that. And I have to make sure that we get as much done in the homeschool day as I want to get done. Like, and that does not happen every day, but that's not my fault. That's other people's fault. But, I'm trying. So what I decided to do was I've just like I've had Google Calendar forever. Like I've always had a Google calendar. I have like several, but I really was like I was watching some videos on YouTube trying to figure out how to really time block and like really make everything work in a way that was visually like appealing, but also because I'm very like I have to have things that are like visually appealing, but also like could make sense to my ADHD brain. And so I basically have time blocked everything out. Like everything in my day has a block in Google Calendar, and I I color code everything based on the level of importance. So if it's like I have to like a meeting or we're recording a podcast or I have to take Cheyenne to ballet or something that's like an absolute like must do, has to go on the schedule, like can't miss kind of a deal, then I do that one color. And that's like my A tasks or whatever. And then I have like my B tasks, and those are a different color. And then my C tasks, those are a different color. And the B tasks are like important things that have to get done every day, like, but they're kind of more everyday tasks. Like they're not special, they're just things that happen every day. So, like, I have to make dinner every day. I have to do homeschool every day. I have to do, like get dressed every day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and then I have things that are like just things that I would like to get done. But like if it doesn't happen, it's like no big deal kind of a deal. So those are a different color. So anyway, I've been using that, and I have like the notifications on in my phone. So like I get these little, like the little notifications when it's time for the different tasks, which is good because it keeps me on track. Just knowing like, okay, it's time for this thing, especially in homeschool. Like I sometimes like will spend too much time on a certain subject. So it's nice to have my subjects actually like time blocked out. But the other thing that I started doing in conjunction with that, which I have never done before, and I don't know why. Like I seriously do not know why I haven't done this before. I just haven't. But I started setting alarms, like actual alarms, not just like calendar notifications, but alarms to go off when I have to leave, or like a few minutes before I have to leave to take my kids or pick my kids up or just do certain things that are very important. Mm-hmm. So that like, things that I can't be late to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have struggled with being late and with keeping track of time pretty much my whole life. And now that I have done this, I am not late. and I don't have to worry about keeping track of time as much because I know I have my alarm set in my phone, and they're going to go off and give me enough time that I'm like, okay, my alarm's going off. That means it's time for me to get Briggs' shoes on or whatever, get a coat on, get him in the car so that we can go pick up Cheyenne from school or whatever it happens to be. Like I have to take her to ballet, and I have to make sure that we leave early enough so she's not late. And it's like, sounds so basic when I'm saying it. It's like, well, duh, like that's what you would do if you didn't want to be late for something, but I just haven't ever done it. And it really helps. Like it helps me, because before it was always like those like burdens of time that are just like hovering in your brain. Like, oh, I know I have to do this today. I know I have to do this today. I know I have to do this today. And I have to make sure, keep checking the clock to like make sure that I'm like not going to be late or not get too far into a project and you're not paying attention to what time it is. It's like that whole burden is off of you now. And you don't even have to like stress about it. Like, obviously you can check the clock, but like, you know, that alarm is set. And so it's going to help remind you when you need to get going, you know?
Yeah.
And also one last thing kind of going along with that, but like not just doing it digitally, but also putting it in my physical planner. Because for some reason, when I write things down, that's how I remember things. Like I can put them in my calendar, but the best thing is if I put them in my calendar and I write them down on my physical planner, then for some reason, I don't forget as easily.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed our Prairie Picks, our very first one. We know that's cheesy, but we really couldn't come up with another alliteration, so we're going with it.
We might change it. I don't know if we come up with something better.
But it's, you know, it's on track with the theme, so. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll try to do another one of these, you know, in the future if you liked it. And yeah.
Go over to our Apple Podcast or Spotify and make sure that you're subscribed, or I guess the little button doesn't say subscribe anymore. It says follow. So go follow us. And leave us a review and give us a rating. And also head over to our website and go get our ebook, because we have our fall recipe ebook available, and it makes a great gift. If you already have it, you can just buy one and print it off and give it to someone for Christmas. Yeah, it's got lots of really yummy recipes. So that, if you buy our ebook, it helps support the podcast. It really, everything just goes right back into the podcast. We're not making money off of this. We're just trying to pay for all the expenses. So we really appreciate your support in any way that you can. And if you would rather, you can also head over to one of our shops. Kenzie has Farm Girl Boutique, and I have my art shop called Pinion Range Mercantile, or my Etsy shop, Wapiti Sage Design, and you can get some goodies, and that also helps support the podcast. So, all right, well, we're gonna round out this episode, and hope you guys have an excellent week and are enjoying fall. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple or Spotify so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, we would be so appreciative if you would leave us a rating and review.
This will help more ladies find us, and it will help us make the show even better. If you know a fellow Western homemaker who would enjoy the podcast, will you please share it with them?
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can become a patron at patreon.com/paintbrushprairie. You can also follow us on Instagram at paintbrushprairie.
You can find me, Kenzie, on Instagram at the.farmgirl. or on my blog at farmgirlblogs.com to see what I'm up to on the ranch, Western home inspiration, or subscribe to my meal plan subscription at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. You can also shop for unique Western goods at my rural boutique and general store at farmgirlboutique.com.
You can follow me, Talia, on Instagram at The Pinion Range, or my Western art page at Wapiti Sage Design. You can also purchase my artwork or book a custom piece at wapitisagedesign.com. I also blog over at thepinionrange.com, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share the behind the scenes of my life as a Western artist and homesteader. We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time from the Paintbrush Prairie.